Good morning, Paul. We're back here in Elmhurst Park. Such a shame about the weather.
Yes.
Definitely a downward slight on last week.
Yeah.
God, getting tongue-tied there. So we're here looking at your baby bee cafe, which is, I think, the first of its kind. Did you want to say a bit more about that?
Yes, this is actually my fourth generation, my 4G BCAF,
Right.
and it's very simple in so much as all these plants just go straight into the ground. They're still in their bottles, but the roots go into the ground. And this one I haven't watered this year, so it's doing very well.
It's doing really well. I can see, you've a few plants here that are coming into bud.
Yes,
And so hopefully we should have some flowers soon. And you've got shrubs in this one too.
yes, we've got some Dame's Rocket, we've got some red clover, that's cuckoo flower, and got some pink. This is going to be a fantastic poppy.
It
Fingers
certainly
crossed.
is. And this looks like a rose as well. And what I do notice is we're not that far from the mothership, as I think I've heard you call it.
The mothership, yeah. Well, the whole idea is that bumblebees specifically, can only travel a very short distance, about 100 meters, before they need to stop for a snack.
Right.
I'm sure we're all the same.
Yeah.
And so you have to place the service stations for their convenience. And so they can see where the big meal is, but also they can stop here for a snack before the onward journey to the bee lines.
So in the grand scheme of things, are you looking to install more baby bee calves across?
I'm looking to install
Woodbridge.
a source of pollen, potentially a baby bee calf, every 100 meters. So if there's already pollen, like if there's a garden centre which has got a lot of plants, I don't need to do anything. But if there's a gap, like a huge car park, I want to put a pollen stop on that route.
Wow, that's quite a big target to achieve. So
it is, when you consider that the whole route is 10 miles long.
Golly, have you worked out how many baby bee cafes that is?
I haven't, because a lot of it's through the countryside, so that will be covered.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Super. So should we go and have a little look at the big one?
Do the journey that the bee calf would do.
That would be brilliant.
The bee would do.
Okay, Paul, we finally made it to the Big Bee Cafe, and I can see this is really quite big, and it's set out differently to some of the other bee cafes. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about this one?
Yes, I sometimes think I've got a bit nuts and made it really, really big, but it had to be this big because the theory behind this one is it's got such a large surface area,
right,
about 5 square meters, and a large storage of water in here, about 1,300 litres,
right,
that it fills up slowly over the winter and empties slowly over the summer, and I should never have to give it a top up with a hose.
Not at all.
Not at all, theoretically.
Okay, how's it stood up to the last week of really very warm weather?
Well, unfortunately, I only built it in December, so I missed the rainy October, I missed the rainy November, so it's
needing a bit of TLC.
It did need a hose top up, I'll have to admit, and currently we've got about 400 litres.
Oh, golly. I take it that's a measuring...
Yeah, that's a measuring thing.
Very good. I hadn't seen that before. And I notice you've laid it out differently as well, with all the plants grouped together.
Oh, yeah. Within each crate, there's 8 plants. And I put 8 of the same species together for 2 reasons. They seem to compete well with each other. If you put a small plant next to a big plant, the small plant doesn't get any light, so it dies. But if you put 8 plants of the same type together, they all compete with each other and they all seem to grow equally.
Right.
And the other thing is, Professor Hobson told me that bees like to gorge on one species all at once. So they can come and have 8 plants worth of whatever something, and then move on. Well, and when that's next one's in bloom, they'll move on to that and gorge on that.
And this is one of the bee cafes that's incorporating the new plants from Maple Farm at Kelsale, I understand.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's always lots of lovely, highly glamorous plants from Katie's garden. But here we're adding native perennials, sometimes endangered, sometimes rare. So hopefully on our way to helping biodiversity. And that's supplied by Maple Farm at Kelsale.
Yeah, brilliant. So this is a wonderful bee cafe, I think, perhaps to teach some of your adopters what's required from them. The adopters do a fabulous job, as I'm sure you'll have heard me talking about. And they come along, and we've got new ones this year as well. So they have to have a little bit of training. Would you like to tell me what adopters do with their bee cafes?
Yeah, adopters, they do Wilt watching, which is basically having a look and telling me when things are wrong, and I'll go into the detail of that in a second. Some other checks.
Right.
They do posting, so you know, if they capture a bee or a range of species of bee,
yep,
film it and post it for us. And not inside this video, but hopefully we'll get Catherine at Cage's Garden to give us a beheading video, which is you know, sort of deadheading.
Right. Yes.
Extend the blooms. So just going back to the first one, wilt watching. Obviously, if this plant's wilting, it's probably because it's not got enough water. So that's an irrigation problem. I need to know about that. So if any of the doctors who are watching this video see a wilt, take a photograph of it, WhatsApp it to me. Some other things you can do, which will help me diagnose it before I set off in the car. Check the water level.
Okay. And there's one of these on each bee cafe?
There's one of these on each bee cafe.
This is the first time I've seen them, so it's something to look out for.
Yes, that's right. So it shows me the water level inside the inner tank.
Super.
And then there's also the drippers. You can see the top of the drippers here, and if they've dried out, then it's probably not working. So you can feel that. Sometimes these wicks, for whatever reason, usually because the public are quite interested in monkeying with it and don't put it back, the wicks need to go back inside. Sometimes I'm not going to show you how to do that because I might encourage other people to do it.
Fiddle with it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the wilt watching aspect.
I'm certainly looking forward to this one with the trees and shrubs, and it's just spectacular this year. You can see the potential for it because it is so much bigger than the previous bee cafe.
Yeah, we've got a spectacular hydrangea coming along.
Brilliant.